Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we are going to be covering how to increase roleplay at your table as a dungeon master. It can be difficult, therefore I'm gonna give some tips to try to help you out. So, just real quick, roleplay is not like doing a bunch of character voices. I mean, it is, but that's not like all it is. You don't need to do a character voice to roleplay. That's just an additional tool that you can use in roleplay. So if a player is not comfortable in using a character voice, then do not try to force them to use a character voice. Do not recommend that they have to use a character voice or anything like that. Some people just can't do voices. I mean, you can change the tone of your voice, but some people aren't comfortable with that, so that's completely fine. Does not matter. But the first tip would be to always call the player by their character's name and not what their actual name is. It helps keep them immersed into your game, and it because if you call them by their normal name, then they're not gonna feel like they're in the world that they're in. They're just sitting at a table talking to you. But if you call them by their character name, then they feel like they actually are that character, and it kind of helps them stay immersed into the world. The second tip would be, oh yeah, instead of having your monsters always attacking, just flat out, just trying to assassinate and kill your players, which is not like most encounters, but sometimes it's okay to have an encounter like that, especially if the players, had it coming. They kind of, like, let's say they made, I don't know, a private gang angry, then yeah, they're probably not going to try to talk to them. But if it's like, I don't know, like an ogre that's hungry and just flat out starts attacking the players, you kind of like take away the chance that they had to, try to feed the ogre or talk to it and try to calm it down. That's just one example, but try to let them talk before combat encounters if possible, because sometimes it's not possible, but most of the time try to give them another option than just killing everything, which yeah, I mean, in D&D 5th edition, the XP system kind of rewards players for killing everything, but try and avoid that. And speaking of XP, award players for role playing. So you could reward them with XP as an example, which kind of gets them out of that mindset that they need to kill everything to level up. I mean, depending on the game, you could leave it in, like if it's a dungeon crawler, yeah, they kill everything to level up. It's fine, but awarding players on their role play is going to definitely increase it at the table, especially with XP. I mean, everybody loves a level up, but yeah, you can award them with loot, XP, and inspiration. I mean, inspiration's kind of weak. You can come up with like another system, but I'd say XP is probably your best shot. So another tip would be to roleplay your NPCs better, because the players are going to match your energy in the game. So if you're not role playing your NPCs, if you're not role playing like any of the monsters, then the players aren't gonna role play their character. They're gonna match your energy. So if you set the bar high, the players are gonna try to meet you on that level. So just try. And once again, that doesn't mean you have to do a voice. That just means getting inside that character's head and acting how that character is going to act. A voice, it's like a tool. You can use it. Sometimes it doesn't work. Most of the time, just getting in that character, that NPC's head, it just it works a lot better, and you just focusing on that single thing helps you. So roleplay, just try, and your players will match your energy on that. So the next tip is have a session 0 and help your players create their backstories and help them build their character. It it helps the dungeon master a lot as well when you know where this character comes from, who their family is and who their friends are, any organizations they're with, and you can use that in the main story and kind of work that in. Creating their backstory alone, they might get the wrong interpretation, and their character might not work in the party. You want to have a party that works well together. Otherwise, people are going to be fighting all the time, and it's not great. But creating the character backstory with everyone before the game starts, it kind of helps mix the party together a lot easier. Next tip. Oh, get a good playlist. It doesn't mean get a calming playlist or get a fantasy playlist. Get a playlist that fits the theme of your game. If, like, for example, if you're running a very dark game, you don't want like a happy playlist going on in the background. You want a dark playlist. You want your players to feel like their characters are in a bad area and it's hopeless, and get them in that mood, and then they will roleplay better in the actual game itself. If the playlist matches the story, it works a lot better. I tried this in Curse of Strahd, and I ran like a super dark playlist, and yeah, it worked. It worked pretty well. I mean, it got me into that zone, so yeah, I enjoyed it. But so combat is another area that I typically don't see a lot of people role playing well. Well, I don't want to say role playing well, but it's like a missed opportunity. I'm not like better than anyone at role playing, but combat is a really useful area to role play in. It's like describe the way your spells look. For example, let's say you're a pyro wizard. If you cast magic missile, just you can make it anything you want. So it can, instead of just being a missile, it could be like, I don't know, parrots. You just shoot a bunch of parrots out of your hand. That's cool. That's sick. Or even fireball. I mean, it is kind of fire, but just be like, it's fire, but also sea fire or something stupid like that. It works really well. There's no rule that says you can't flavor your spells or your magic however you want. In fact, I encourage it at my table. I love it when characters kind of flavor their spells based on who they are. It works really well. And for martial classes, just describe like how you're hitting things, what kind of weapon you're using, or even when an enemy misses you, just describe how you. Well, you don't have to do it for every type, but like how you block it, how you move out of the way, how it scathes off your armor, anything like that, kind of helps paint the picture of what's happening. As for your, for your monsters or your whatever they're fighting, just describe like how they're attacking the players, what they're using, kind similar to how the players are attacking most of the time. Of course, it's different if it's like a dragon and they're using a breath weapon, but try to get inside that monster's head and figure out who they're going to attack and why they're going to attack them. If it's a very tactical monster, like a very intelligent monster, and they see a 8-foot tall barbarian covered in, I don't, just like meat mountain, they might not want to attack them, and they see like a caster in the back, they might just go for the caster because they're intelligent. But if they're not an intelligent monster, just have them go for the barbarian, and then you'll just wreck the encounter anyway. So basically, get inside your monster's head and figure out why they're attacking that person. That way, your players don't feel like they're just getting targeted for no reason. Let's see here. Oh, do not make a character a joke character unless the player specifically wants their character to be a joke character. If they're playing a serious rogue, like an assassin rogue, or something like that, and they mess up, don't try to make it like a big comedic scene about, like, let's say they're like a halfling, and I don't know, they mess up an acrobatics trick. Don't be like, ha, you're short, your character's short, you messed up because you're short, or anything like that. Most people don't do that, but I've seen it a few times, and it's stupid. I hate it so much. But yeah, but if they're a bard and they love messing up, they love being, I don't know, the center of attention, then yeah, joke about it. Your player is going to love it, and that's what they want. But if they're trying to not set that tone, it's probably not a good idea to do it. Let's see here. Oh yeah, the last and final tip is a very simple one, but it makes a lot of sense. If you're tired and you don't feel like, I don't know, role-playing or even talking, you probably need to take a break. I found that if a session runs on for too long, people kind of get distracted, they start hopping on the phones, they start, getting out of the game, then yeah, take a break. I mean, you don't need to play for like 6 hours in a row and be fully immersed into the game. That's just not accurate. If you need a break, just take it, and your player's going to appreciate it. You're going to appreciate it. It's a game. If you're not you're not feeling it, just take a break. Yeah, you don't have to force yourself through a session. Well, I mean, sometimes you do, but like if it's like lasting on and dragging on too long, just be like, take a 5, 10, even 20-minute break, and just come back to it. It definitely helps a lot. But yeah, so those are all the tips I have for Dungeon Masters, or to help the players kind of get to roleplay better and feel a lot more comfortable at the table. Yeah, because I mean, most of us are introverted that play D&D, so you don't want to sit around a table and try to do a bunch of accents and all that stuff if you don't want to. But this kind of helps, bring out that extroverted side in everybody. But yeah, if you like the video, I recommend that you subscribe, and yeah, see ya.